Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about trauma bonds as I've done before in the past, but I want to add a different angle to this. As I've been coaching many clients who have been in the ropes of trauma bonds, I've discovered a little something new that I want to share with you guys. Watch this video. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please click the little subscribe button, the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Today, I want to dive into this very important subject of trauma bonds. Briefly, I'm just going to say that a trauma bond is when you're bonding with someone that's actually abusing you. Or you're bonding with someone over a trauma that you're in the midst of not even healing yet. You're traumatized, right? And what happens when we're traumatized and we actually get in a relationship with someone is we're in a very vulnerable state where we're easily manipulated and bonded to over this trauma. And that bond is usually not rooted in health, but trauma. So let's talk about this. I have been diving into this subject so much recently because, as the collective consciousness would have it, so many of the people I work with on the daily are experiencing some version of this, and if not fully in this. So I've kind of discovered some new ways to see it, but also understand it in a more empowered version. We know what it is. We just explained it and spelled it out. This happens a lot in narcissistic relationships because we get in relationships with narcissists when we've been narcissistically abused in childhood or when we're in a very vulnerable, traumatized state. And also, the narcissistic dynamic is very push-pull, and that's what a trauma bond is. It's full of push and pull, this up and down, this insecure attachment, this uncertain attachment, this crap that makes us feel so insecure and out of touch and unanchored within self. You know what I'm talking about? So the thing is, sorry, my shirt's like really loose. Keeping it real. So the thing that I wanted to talk about today is I got off a call yesterday with this amazing client that I love so much, and we were talking about her trauma bond with this guy. And this is what's so interesting to me about so many of my clients. So many of my clients are incredibly awesome humans. They just don't really know it yet, right? So they've got some shadow work to do to pull their light back into the truth of who they are, because it's in the shadow. And what happens when we're not doing our shadow work or haven't done it all yet, we have a lot of our power and our light in our shadow, and what we end up doing is projecting onto others. So what I was watching her do yesterday, I was watching her project this power onto this person that is trauma bonded with her so that she can be saved from her trauma. Because we're never taught to save ourselves. We don't think that we're capable of saving ourselves from our own trauma because we're in it. And so one of the biggest tools that I like to teach people is neutral observing, which, by the way, is kind of funny. If you haven't seen my water bottles, they're down below. But I'm obsessed with it right now because it's literally the mechanism that I used to heal my own traumas was to neutrally observe them. Like, take a physical step back, watch my emotional pain body, watch my body start to freak out and do its thing, and notice that that's actually not happening right now. That's just a plethora of stuck, unhealed, unresolved emotional pain that's now way bigger than it really needs to be, which is fine. We don't need to judge and invalidate our emotions. We need to see them for what they are. Wow, I have a really big trauma bond happening right now, or trauma coming up right now. It's not to say that it's not real. It's real, but the pain we're perceiving it as, or the severity we're perceiving it as, is because of all the past trauma that has not yet been healed. So it's a buildup, right? So when we start to neutrally observe these experiences, we can start to see that our reality is actually safe right now. We're actually going to be okay. We don't think we are. We feel like we're going to explode. We feel like we can't handle anything. We feel like our emotions are taking over our lives and we can't focus. That's okay. It's okay. It makes sense. But we have to start to learn to neutrally observe it as if I see that this is happening, but it's not who I am. I see that this is what I feel, but it's not who I am. Now that's a mastery of its own. So be gentle with yourself as you get there over time. God, this shirt's so annoying. But next thing is, When we start to fall into a trauma bond, we start to see that we're bonding with someone that we have crazy fights with, or there's this aggression or control involved, and we start to feel pulled. And when they're not giving us attention or accepting us or loving us or validating us or approving of us, we start to have anxiety and freak out. We know we're trauma bonded, which means I need that person who doesn't even treat me super awesome all the time to give me that love so I can get the hit. It's like a drug, right? We need the hit. So what I was looking at with my beautiful, brilliant, incredible client is I said to her, babe, we have to understand that we can reparent our own trauma. Now, this is something no one feels that they can do in the moment because they feel like they're grasping for external to attach to be saved. We need to be saved from this crazy pain, right? So I saw her doing it to this guy. I saw her projecting the power and everything onto this person so that she could feel saved by him, so that she could feel back to that calm, self-soothing state. What sucks about that, you guys, is it's very dependent. It's very dependent on someone who's not dependable, codependency. When we depend on someone who's emotionally, physically, financially, whatever, not dependent, we are now dependent on someone not dependable. What we have to understand is we actually are dependable when we start living in alignment with, number one, self-care. When you start feeling the angst of that trauma bond, what I've done in the past is I will realize, oh my gosh, I just abandoned myself. I need to come back to self. I have to come within, stop looking to this person, and this thing, and any of these externals to save my ass. I need to sit down and save myself. So what that looks like for me is cleaning up my diet, not drinking alcohol, taking salt baths every night, getting my masseuse over here, making a meal that makes me feel comfortable, taking like 3 days to myself without any opinions, just reading books and literature and watching videos and things that raise my own vibration so I can start to fill that void that the trauma bond is filling, masking, band-aiding. Fill that void with me. When you fill that void with you, meaning self-love, self-care, aligned action, what starts happening is you start to actually feel calm and better. You don't believe it, but you've got to try it and do it. Because if you start doing the things that feel good to you, your little inner child is saying to you, please don't leave me, right? When you're saying to the trauma bonder, please don't leave me, it's really your inner child saying it to you, but you haven't realized that you're capable of that yet. So you still think you're the little kid that was traumatized who needs mommy and daddy, an authority figure to save you. It's no longer the truth, people. We have to understand that we are mature adults. Some of us mature, some of us just adults, some of us getting there, but we are mature adults, becoming mature, emotionally mature adults. And what that means is we don't need a savior so we can survive and live. Our inner child just thinks so. But what we're trying to understand in this moment is that the inner child actually just needs you, but you still think she needs a parent. You still think she needs an authority figure. She wants you, he wants you to be the authority figure on your own life. And trauma bonds are an amazing opportunity to stop projecting your power and care onto others just so you can feel saved. That's the inner child desire and need. That's not the adult divine person who needs themselves and needs spirit and needs love and self-care. So think about this. We all think we're addicted to this trauma bond, but it's because it's being projected. We're addicted to the thing we're projecting. So that is within us. That power and control is within you that you just keep giving away, and then you feel powerless and you're like, he won't call me. Oh my God, he's ghosting me. Good. Let him ghost you. What you need to do is stop ghosting yourself. It's much easier said than done, but once you start doing it, you start realizing this is the key. Anytime I've done this in my own life, because I have, or I wouldn't be talking about it. When I do that and I'm there for myself and I'm bonding with me rather than trauma bonding with another, I all of a sudden come into extreme clarity and I can see the person for who they are. I can see the person for who they are instead of the savior I projected them to be. When you save yourself, you think you're going to be lonely and alone. You feel lonely and alone because you're not bonding to you. So I wanted to share that to you today. Be gentle with yourselves, but just know that this is an opportunity to see that the way that I get to heal my trauma bonds is, of course, no contact. That's number one, necessary. But also connecting and bonding to the inner one inside who's like, please stop looking outside of yourself to fill the void that you need to fill for me. Guys, I want to thank you for coming to this channel. If you know one person that this could actually help and serve in one way or another, please send it to them. Also, please don't forget to subscribe and share if you can. I want to let you know I am going to be launching my Boundaries Bootcamp. We all need boundaries if we're in these trauma bonds. We need boundaries if we're struggling with identity, we're struggling with confidence, we're struggling with decisions, we're struggling with energetic pulls. We need boundaries. So Boundaries Bootcamp waitlist is below. Coaching and all of that's also below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I love you guys so much. I appreciate your support and have a great week.